Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel. September 25th, 2017.
The Kuhner Report, presented by Kelly Financial Services. This is the Kuhner Report.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
Will you boycott the Patriots, and will you now boycott the NFL? That is now the question. 617-266-6868. Okay. Trump's fiery words delivered at a speech in Alabama on Friday have now set off a firestorm. And so, as you know, players across the league, it started with Colin Kaepernick, have been protesting the national anthem, usually either sitting or taking a knee, in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. And now they have taken this protest to a whole new dimension. In the wake of the president's comments, according to the Wall Street Journal, Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, reached out to the owners, many players and managers. They concocted a strategy to stand up and smack the president in the face. And so Roger Goodell urged the owners to tell their players it is time for everybody in solidarity against the president, against President Trump, to take a knee or protest the national anthem in yesterday's games in the NFL. And leading the charge unbelievably was Robert Kraft and Tom Brady. Almost a lot of the New England Patriots players took a knee in yesterday's game. Brady was locking arms in solidarity with the players. Roger Goodell issued a statement saying that Trump's comments were disrespectful to the NFL, profoundly divisive, and that the president should be ashamed of himself. Kraft also said that he disagreed with Trump's comments and said again as well that he didn't like them and they were disrespectful. Brady, and I'm going to play the cut later, said they were deeply divisive. And so players across the NFL, in fact, about almost a quarter of them, over 200 players, openly were kneeling in protest of the national anthem. In fact, LaShawn McCoy was stretching during the national anthem. Literally stretching his groin during the national anthem. I mean, the only thing he didn't do, honestly, guys, at this point, what the hell, is why don't you just put a big flag out in the middle of the field and either urinate or take a dump on it? Because that's pretty much what you guys are doing. 3 NFL teams, the Seattle Seahawks, the Tennessee Titans, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, stood in the locker room. They refused to even go on the sidelines, even though that is against the NFL league's rules. Roger Goodell told them, you'll get a pass. So, in fact, he was even urging the players to break his own rules and the NFL's own rules. My friends, we're going to cover this, believe me, extensively on today's show, because I believe this is now a profound cultural watershed for the NFL, for our cultural elites, and for America itself. And let me just now say this. I stand with President Trump 1,000%. I think he is completely correct. The owners who should stand up to these out-of-control players who are not just disrespecting the national anthem, they are disrespecting our country, they're disrespecting our flag, they're disrespecting all of those who fought and died for this flag, and ultimately, my friends, they're disrespecting you. You. And that's why yesterday at Gillette Stadium, 5 minutes from my house, you could almost hear the deafening boos from the crowd, from the fans, booing the players for protesting the national anthem. In fact, people who were at the game have told me repeatedly, All they did was talk about the players disrespecting the flag and protesting the national anthem. They couldn't even enjoy the game. And so let me ask you this. Let me ask you an honest question. It costs on average $500 for a family to go see a Patriots game. You sit up in the nosebleeds. You got to pay parking. You pay concessions. You pay through the nose for a beer and a hot dog. You sit in traffic to get there. It's a whole day event. You work extremely hard to pay for those $500 because, believe me, it's not cheap. You're struggling to put food on the table, pay your bills, and then they got to throw this in your face? And I want you to think about who's protesting. I really want you to think about this. These are players who make $10, $15, $20 million a year. In no other country in the world do players make anywhere near that much money to play a lousy game. It may be a great game. It may be an American game. But in the end, it's just a game. And instead, you're protesting this country's anthem and flag? You bunch of spoiled, privileged ingrates. That's what they are. They're a bunch of spoiled brats. Arrogant, privileged brats who think the whole world revolves around them. And to their shock and horror, you want to know why they reacted with such contempt for you, the fans? And for the country, and for our veterans, and for the flag? Because when Trump called them out on Friday, it was the first time somebody is actually trying to hold these spoiled ingrates accountable. For the first time, somebody's actually trying to hold them accountable for their ridiculous antics. So let me just say this, and then I want to open it up to the phone lines. Because the liberals and the left are now celebrating this massive protest against the president and against the anthem and against the flag. And their argument is freedom of speech. No one is denying that you have the freedom of speech or the freedom of expression to kneel during the national anthem. Nobody's denying it. You have the right to offend. But whoa, people have the right to be offended. The fans have a right to be offended. And more importantly, when you are on the field and in uniform. You are there to do a job. Your job is not politics. Your job is to play football, to throw and catch a ball and tackle somebody. That's your job. We're not paying you for your political opinions. And so the owners, if they so choose, have every right to fire them or suspend them. Frankly, I would expel them. You really want to know my honest opinion? You disrespect this country and this flag and this anthem that has been so good to you? You little ingrate, you SOB, you're out forever. This is a private league with private teams. The owner has a right to decide what kind of conduct is acceptable and unacceptable. But it would be akin to this. The president spoke out, and he has the right to speak out. He has free speech too, about what the players are doing and what he thinks the owners should do. Let me flip it. And so the owners now protest on the job. You know, I'm not a big fan of the New England Patriots having brought on board Adrian Peterson. I'm not a fan. I'm being honest with you. I'm not a fan. Now, for them to have brought on this alleged child abuser as somebody who has adopted children, as somebody who is an advocate for children's rights, as somebody who speaks out against child abuse on a regular basis, honestly, I'm very deeply offended. Now, what if I started every day in protest against that decision? And just 3 minutes of silence every day on the show. What do you think would happen to me? I'll tell you what would happen to me. Program director would come right down the hallway and say, either you start yakking or you're fired. The station manager would come down and say, either you start talking or you're fired. The owner would say, hey, I'm not paying you to talk to me about child advocacy and who the Patriots should hire and who they shouldn't hire. You want to do that? You do it on your own spare time. But don't you do it on the job. On the job, I pay you to give your political opinions, not your sports opinions. Well, it's the same thing. I'm not paying for you to tell me how I should support Black Lives Matter. I'm paying you to play football. And if you or I were protesting on the job, we would be fired. So how come they can't be fired? How come suddenly they're above the rules and the norms that affect every single one of us? It is time to teach these players a lesson once and for all. It is time to boycott the NFL. When I watch football, I watch it to get away from politics. I watch it to get away from liberalism. I watch it to get away from these social justice warriors, not to have it rammed down my throat. And so now the ratings have gone down. My prediction is the ratings are going to collapse. And you have people burning their jerseys. The fans are absolutely furious, and I don't blame them. And my question now to you is this. Has the NFL crossed the Rubicon? Is it time to boycott the New England Patriots? Will you boycott the Patriots or your favorite NFL team? 617-266-6868. Zach in Haverhill. You're up first. Go ahead, Zach.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Oh, is it Jack? I'm sorry, I had Zach on the board. My bad. Jack, go ahead.
No problem. Jeff, this is my concern. The President of the United States should not be interfering with somebody's business. This is the NFL and all the teams associated with the NFL. You know, this thing with Kaepernick was just about dead. It was dying off until he goes out and kicks over a hornet's nest. I mean, come on. We have bigger problems in this country right now than for him to be on Twitter like a junior high school kid screaming about what the athletes are doing and call them sons of bitches and stuff like that and call them un-American. Now, what's more un-American? A president calling a former POW saying, I like the ones that don't get caught. You know, I like those better. Or somebody who's just kneeling there, not screaming, not setting off bombs. I'm a veteran. I wouldn't do it. But that's what we fought. That's what we fought for in this country. Freedom of speech. If you don't like it, don't go to the games. Don't do this. But for the president, stay out of the business.
I mean, but why? I mean, you're contradicting yourself. You're saying we fought for freedom of speech. So why are you denying the president his freedom of speech? He has the right to comment.
Because he's a president. You're not supposed to get involved in businesses.
Well, hold on. Whoa. Wait, come on now. All Obama did was lecture business owners. All this guy did was say you didn't build that. All this guy did was stick his nose in everything. Remember the Cambridge police officer? He didn't even know the facts. And he was already, the police acted stupidly. I could go on and on. The media didn't attack him for that. So why is it okay for Obama to be sticking his nose everywhere, but when Trump speaks out on behalf of American values, if he's not there to defend the flag, Jack, then what is he there for?
You're right. He should. I wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it. None of us would do it. But he shouldn't be getting involved in business.
But he's not. He just gave his opinion. He's not going to force the owners to fire these people. He just said, you know what? If I were them, I'd fire him. And you know what? He's right. I think they should fire him. He's 1,000% correct.
Kaepernick doesn't have a job. I mean, this thing was just about dead.
Well, it doesn't matter. The fact is you had people following him, and thank you for that call, Jack. You had people following him, and look, every week there were protests. Michael Bennett is sticking up his stupid, that black power fist. So he just finally said enough is enough. Look, if the president is not there to defend the national anthem, to defend the flag, to defend the country, to defend the veterans in the military, then what the hell is he there for? Look, everyone going, oh, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Buddy, you hate America that much. Leave. To those that are kneeling. You don't spit on the flag. You don't spit on the national anthem. You don't disrespect your country like that. Now, if you feel that strongly about Black Lives Matter, or you are so upset about the situation with police officers killing young black people, you can write op-eds. You can do it on Twitter. You can post it on Facebook. You can do so many things. But when you're a football player and you're on the field and in uniform, you represent your team. In some ways, you represent your city. And you also have to respect your fans because they're the ones who ultimately pay your salary. You don't have the right to spit in their face and in the flag and in all those who fought and died for the flag. Now, you want to do it. But then man up. Take the consequences. Fire them. 12:24 here on the great WRKO. Okay, the Kuhner Country poll question du jour, as the French would say, of the day. Sponsored by Bill Kelly Financial Services. And I'm asking a very serious question, and please, Kuhner Country, give me a very serious answer. Are you going to boycott the Patriots? Or we have a lot of listeners from around the country, whatever your local team is. Are you going to boycott the Patriots / the NFL? If the answer is yes, and let me speak from the heart, I did not watch anything yesterday. I'm not watching tonight. And I will not watch until these protests stop. I am going to boycott the NFL. From now on, no more football. If the answer is yes, text the letter 8 to 680-680. If the answer is no, Jeff, I love my Patriots. I'm going to root for them and watch them no matter what. Text the letter B to 680-680. You can vote online at WRKO.com. Brittany, I'm just curious. Are you an A or a B? I know you're a diehard Pats fan.
Not anymore, Kuhner. I'm done watching the Patriots. I am now a Texans fan.
Really?
Tom Brady who? I don't know who that is anymore. I'm all J.J. Watt now. After yesterday's game, I was rooting for the Texans. I'm all done.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Now, I mean, why the Texans?
Because they all stood. They didn't.
Nobody,
they did. No
nobody
one
on the
protested.
Texans kneeled. Nobody.
No, and what they did for Hurricane Harvey, people that were affected by Hurricane Harvey, they raised all that money for them. I have more respect for them than I do for the Patriots as of right now. So, until the Patriots decide to stand and stop protesting the American flag and the national anthem, I will no longer watch them. I'm a Texans fan now.
So you're a big yes. You're an A on this one.
Yep.
Wow. Listen, if to the NFL. To Kraft and Brady, I'm not kidding. If you've lost Brittany, you've lost the majority. I'm telling you right now, if you've just lost Brittany, you're in big trouble. 617-266-6868. Okay, we're going to discuss, by the way, Brady and Kraft at 105. Some comments were made this morning. But first, you know, the media keeps saying, oh, the president shouldn't stick his nose in the NFL, blah, 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 blah. Listen to this. October 5th, 2013. Obama tells the Associated Press, quote, if I were the owner of the team, speaking of the Washington Redskins, and I knew that there was a name of my team, even if it had a storied history, that was offending a sizable group of people, I'd think about changing it. So why was it okay for the dear leader to lecture the Redskins how they should change their name because some people may be offended? But Trump can't speak out in defense of the American flag and our national anthem? Look at the hypocrisy. Annie, you're up next. Go ahead, Annie.
Hi, Jeff. Are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and thank you for the great job that you're doing this morning.
Thank you.
I have called a couple of times before. And excuse me, I'm trying to hold my anger under control. I am an American citizen first and foremost. I love my country. I love my flag. I love my military and my veterans, and I love my president. And if the president isn't the person to stand up and let the NFL know that we as citizens do not appreciate the disrespect that they are showing to our flag, our president stands and welcomes home a coffin that is draped in an American flag. How would they like to do that? Just do it one day and see how long it lasts. Okay, here's the thing. The NFL has their own rules and regulations in their handbook. Why don't they abide by it? Why is it okay for them to change it whenever they choose to change it? Number two, why is the NFL tax exempt? Why are they not paying taxes? I want to know that. And if there's some way or somebody out there that has that answer, I would love to hear it. And number three, I'm with Brittany. And as far as I'm concerned, the Patriots are no more. They don't even deserve to have the name Patriot. That's how I feel, Jeff.
Annie, thank you very much for that call. Very well said. Let me ask you, will you boycott the Patriots? That's the Kuhner Country poll question of the day. What is your reaction now to all of these players protesting the national anthem? 617-266-6868. Are you like me? Until they stop the protests, are you done with the NFL? 1236 here on the great WRKO. Okay, an explosion of protests by the NFL teams. 3 teams, in fact, didn't even get out of the locker room. That's how much they were protesting the national anthem in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick and their opposition to President Trump. My question to you is this. Are you now going to boycott the Patriots? Is it time to boycott your NFL team? 617-266-6868. One quick point, then I want to dive into the phone lines. Do you remember the anniversary of 9/11? When several NFL players wanted to honor them with something on their cleats. Remember, like a little sign or remember 9/11 or whatever it was. And Roger Goodell, that little liberal weasel, cracked down on those players, telling them if you wear anything on your cleats, anything that says you honor or remember the victims of 9/11, we're going to come after you, we're going to fine you, we're going to throw the book at you. But when it comes to protesting the national anthem, when it comes to protesting the flag, when it comes to sticking it to Trump for daring to criticize the NFL and urging owners to fire or suspend players who take a knee, then you want to stay in the locker room, violate league rules? No problem. You want to spit in the faces of your fans? No problem. But don't you honor 9/11. My friends, the NFL has now become a liberal leftist league, hijacked by the social justice warriors. And you know what? That's fine. Just look at ESPN. Because they're going bankrupt, and you're going to go bankrupt as well. 617-266-6868. Arthur in Chestnut Hill. Go ahead, Arthur.
You know, I find it very interesting, Jeff, that the symbol of the NFL is the American flag. That's what the shield is of the NFL, is the American flag. And Adrian Peterson fathered 7 illegitimate children from 7 different women. One of those kids died, as well as the one that he abused. All the protesters seem to be, I hate to say this, seem to be of one color, and that color has brought violence into the league, and that color has brought wife beating and all the things that are not good examples for the children of America. And what they've done is obviously disrespectful and disgusting. I love this country, and if these people can't appreciate what they have and the fact that they're allowed to play in a game that we play for nothing, then they don't deserve it. They're a disgrace to everything that this country stands for.
Thank you very much for that call, Arthur. You know, look, I want you to think about it now. In Pop Warner football, the kids are now taking a knee when they play the national anthem or they turn their back on the American flag. This is a cancer because these football players, whether they should or shouldn't, whether rightly or wrongly, are held up as role models. And so when the kids start seeing, the Tom Brady's of the world, the Aaron Rodgers of the world, you could, take your pick, either locking arms or kneeling or protesting the national anthem, they think that's the trendy, chic, cool thing to do. So all they're going to be doing now is encouraging now the young kids to hate their own country, hate their own flag, and hate their own anthem. It's disgusting. Sokol, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Sokol, welcome to the Kuhner Report.
Hi, Kuhner. How you doing? I'm first-time caller.
Welcome, Sokol.
So I want to make a couple of quick points, about
Yes.
this problem. Okay. First of all, I think this has to stop because America and our flag, it's been here forever. Politics come and goes, but the sovereignty of this country and the pride of this flag is still here. So, protesting for something has nothing else to do with the flag. Second point, those black NFL players, okay, they contradict themselves because they are the black players who pretend they are from the black community and protesting for them. But they forget the fact they are millionaires. They have opportunities from this country, from that flag, and sovereignty of this country. Then, on this point, they are like a spoiled kids who just saying, "Oh, we don't have enough rights. Blacks, they've been this and that." But on the same point, they have opportunities to be rich and to have a better life.
Brilliant. Sokol, brilliant, and thank you for that call. Don't be a stranger, my friend. Look, only in this country, only under this flag, in this country, can you, looking at NFL players, I don't care what their color is, can make the money that they are making. Here, take Michael Bennett. Okay, Seattle Seahawks. He's the one that really starting to lead the charge. Even on the field, he's raising his black power fist when he makes a sack or a tackle or whatever. This year, he's going to make $15 million. Okay, he plays defensive line. 3 years, $30 million. These players are making money that people around the world can only dream of. And you're claiming racism? You're claiming you're oppressed? You're claiming you're a victim? I'll tell you what you are. You are a spoiled, privileged, narcissistic ingrate. That's what you are. You're a freaking ingrate. And that's why I hope that the fans rally around the flag, around this country, around our anthem, and teach these punks a lesson once and for all. We pay your salaries. You're rich because of us, because we pay the tickets and buy the gear. Well, you know what? You're going to continue to act like this? No problem. No tickets, no gear, no money. And then we'll see how tough you really are. Robert in Framingham. Go ahead, Robert.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi.
I will watch from the kickoff to the last second of the game. I won't watch the opening ceremony and discuss the displays that are going on. And let me tell you something. When you think about it, when the Chiefs started going after you, did you go after your listeners or did you go after your sponsors and advertisers? Until NFL fans rise up and contact people like Anheuser-Busch and all the other sponsors and advertisers and say, we are not buying your product anymore. We are not supporting you anymore. Until the NFL changes its mindset, that's when real action will take place. And that's when you'll see real change in the NFL's policy on this.
Robert, I'm just curious. I mean, you're just a diehard fan? Like you're just, I got to watch my football?
I've been watching the Cowboys since 1974, and I will continue to watch them. I will not watch the disgusting display that happens before a game. I'll watch my Cowboys and turn it off. I will not buy another Budweiser. I will not shop at the places they advertise. And I've written letters already. But until the advertisers lose money, the multi-million-dollar corporations that are pouring money into this, look at what they do to you. Look what they did to Sean Hannity. Look what they do to all the other conservative hosts that are out there. It's a polar advertising.
You're right. No, Robert, you're right. You're completely right. They go after the advertisers. They try to cut off the flow of money. Now, Robert, I want to say this. There are some teams, and they deserve to be recognized. Brittany mentioned the Houston Texans. Well, the Dallas Cowboys. You're a Dallas fan, you say. Well, you're very lucky. Because the owner of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, to his credit, has said, I have told every single one of my players, I pay your salaries. When you're on the field, you are wearing a Cowboys uniform. You are representing the organization of the Dallas Cowboys and, frankly, the city of Dallas. You kneel, you protest, your ass is out of there. That's exactly, you said, your ass is gone. So you better not kneel. Now, I'm telling you, I don't think anybody's going to kneel tonight. And Trump's point is, if Jerry Jones can do it, and if the Houston Texans can do it, why can't you do it? Anthony in New Hampshire. Go ahead, Anthony.
Jeff, you kind of stomped on my thunder a little bit, but I'm going to continue on with that narrative because that's why I called. They 100% do not have the right to protest while they are on the clock as an NFL employee. They are just like you or I. They are nothing different. If you or I walked into our manager's office and dropped on one knee while we were on the clock and said, I'm not moving because I'm protesting what I dislike going on in this country, you and me would be fired on the spot. We would not be able to collect unemployment. We would not pass go. We would be fired. They should have the same type of punishment or they're agreeing with the action. So what Robert Kraft did to me yesterday when I went and spent $500 to go to the football game and ruined my game by allowing his players to do that, it so soured me, it ruined the game. It ruined my whole thing. I almost feel like I should go down to Rentham and file a lawsuit against Robert Kraft for selling me a football ticket when it was really a political rally and nothing more.
Anthony, I'm just curious, what was the reaction of other fans around you? Were they booing? Were they just upset?
Booing everywhere, Jeff. It was boos. It was as loud as the cheers. The boos were as loud as the cheers. It was absolutely disgusting. I'm horrified by the way Tom Brady has now come and said that he stands with the people and is against President Trump. Just like you said, the president is the moral father of this country. If the father of this country sees that there's things being done that are against the way this country should be, it is his moral and his duty to speak up against what is going on.
Anthony,
that's his job.
That's it. You nailed it. And thank you. Look, he's the commander-in-chief. Now, let me ask you, if you're the commander-in-chief, for God's sakes, the one thing you're not going to defend is the national anthem? The flag? The veterans, the military who fight under that flag and have died for that flag? That's the one thing you have to defend. I just find this incredible. Like, well, he should be minding his own business. I mean, well, hold on. When Obama was going on about the Redskins, it didn't seem to bother you then. But let that go. If he's not going to stand up for the flag and for the country and for the anthem and for the vets and for the military, then what the hell's he there for? See, that's what I love about Trump. He's not afraid to stand up to the powers that be. And let me just throw one more log on the fire. Have you noticed with these liberals? They have destroyed every institution in America. They have politicized every institution in America. Look what they've done to the public schools. Look what they've done to the universities. Look what they've done to Hollywood. Look what you go to a Broadway show now. It's all politics. The theater. You can run down arts, everything. ESPN, the media, the sports media. Now they're going after professional sports itself. They are now politicizing the entire NFL. Congratulations, guys. You took a $14 billion a year juggernaut, a huge lucrative business, and you're in the process now of driving it into the ground. Only a moonbat can do that. 617-266-6868. Will you boycott the Patriots? And let me ask you one other question. If they do protest, will you follow Trump's example or his suggestion and leave the stadium? Will you just walk up and leave? Jerry on the Cape. Thanks for holding and welcome.
Good afternoon, Jeff.
Hi, Jerry.
3 points I want to make. I don't know if anybody thought about this, but this year the collective bargaining agreement's coming up between the NFL players and the owners. This whole CTE thing, I think they're going to use this as a wedge, the owners will, to try to leverage the players. We get, you're hitting us with CTE. We went to bat for you. We lost money. We put our reputation on the line for all you players, all that sort of stuff.
Interesting.
Second point, Jeff. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and religion. It says that the government cannot abridge these rights endowed by our Creator. Private businesses and volunteer organizations can have their own rules as long as there is no violation of federal law. And lastly, Jeff, did you know that there's a law on the books, 36 U.S. Code 301, the national anthem? And I'm just going to give you subparagraph C. It talks about members of the military, but it says at public events, all other persons present should face the flag and stand at attention with their right hand over their heart, and men not in uniform, if applicable, should remove their headdress with their right hand and hold it at the left shoulder, the hand being over the heart. And when the flag is not displayed, all present should face toward the music and act in the same manner as if the flag were displayed. So that's a law, Jeff.
Jerry, thank you very much for that call. Well, look, I could do a porno. Talk about freedom of speech, freedom of expression. I could do an internet porno. Now, just because I'll spare you, I promise. But I'm just, I could technically do it. Now, I have the right to do it, but I'll tell you what would happen if I did it. They'd fire my rear end. And they'd have every right to fire my rear end. So, it's the same thing. NFL, it's private ownership, private teams. Yeah, you have the right to kneel, but they got a right to fire you. It cuts both ways. Nick in Southie. Go ahead, Nick.
Hello, Jeff. Good afternoon.
Hey, Nick.
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Okay, I have a comment and a question.
Go ahead, shoot.
The comment is, now the NFL is going to England and Mexico. Will the players use their freedom of speech to kneel on their national anthems? Maybe the reason they probably won't is because they'll probably sink in that they don't want to disrespect their country and their citizenry.
Well, in fact, I'm very happy you asked that, Nick, because yesterday, the first game was the Ravens and the Jaguars, and they played in Britain, in London, at Wembley Stadium. Mm-hmm. The players of the Ravens and the Titans kneeled. The coaches kneeled. In fact, the owner of the Titans, who's a Pakistani billionaire, Shahid Khan, Jaguars, I'm sorry. The owner of the Jaguars, okay? They played the Ravens. He was locking arms with the players in solidarity. And then when they played God Save the Queen, the UK national anthem, you know what they all did? They all stood up and they put their hands over their hearts. They disrespected our anthem and our flag on foreign soil, but they rose for the British anthem and the British flag. You know what I call that? Treason. 617-266-6868. Coming up next, Tom Brady, social justice warrior. He sides with Colin Kaepernick and speaks out against Trump. You don't want to miss it. Don't touch that dial.